We start from the Western region, and the woman allegedly kidnapped in Takoradi has been found, but without her pregnancy. 29-year-old Josephine Simmons went missing in Takoradi on September 16 after she was reported to have gone for a routine morning walk. A search party was convened after her mother received a call from an unknown person who said they could not use her for what they had intended. A relative later told Joe News she was found on Tuesday at Axim. She's currently on admission at the Axim Government Hospital. My colleague Ina Thalia Kwanzaa reports relatives and neighbors are livid following comments by the regional minister suggesting that Josephine and her husband faked the pregnancy story. We'll hear from them shortly, but first, let's hear the regional minister speaking on Kesben FM this morning.
Honorable documents honorable documents I'm watching. Nah, what to say?
I do Morocco.
Yes. Some we see a kidnap woman say, oh, share procedure for sending money where I'm on to an amount. A brother near friend was so ray.
In Dra, na BNI for sending report is I'm na our Azim hospital. The police for no are still there. Na medical doctor no so na ma odikan Midday. From their preliminary investigation, they suspect that this whole story was fake, and that the medical doctor who has even looked at her, seen that Onyobia Onyinsan is so. This thing has been bundled around for a very long time like that. So that is the immediate information we have now. But police phone or at the police hospital.
Medical officer no or examine a rano or say
for trying
story near fake. Na rano on him into Onyinsan.
That be.
Hey.
But you know, that's the information
na
my security people have brought to me.
Obano Minini kunu kasa no pe wo se wawo pen wawo baako na bema no so se ne yire nyim ne maame so se wonyim na wawo so wawo ne ba no ni ho doctor no so examine doctor no so hu se wawo
this say doctor no boa no work the same thing na BNI for it.
So that's the comments which is getting friends and family agitated. Husband of the victim, Michael Simmons, insists his wife was pregnant before she went missing.
She was pregnant for 9 months, and she was kidnapped at Old John Saba Road. When we noticed her absence, we searched for her at various hospitals in Takoradi. When we got back from our routine, my mother-in-law came back with a cry saying some guys have called her to tell her that her daughter has been kidnapped. They have her daughter, so she should bring up some ransom for them to release her. After saying that, they just hung up. And since then, we had no calls from them again. And just yesterday, we had a strange call, an unknown number calling us that she has found a certain lady who can speak, who can talk, and she was able to write something on a paper for them, which was my number and then my name as well. So they called. So I also asked them if they can describe or like take a picture of her and then send it to us. So they described her, and from their description, we noticed that it was her. So we came here to Axim, and God being faithful, we found her. So right now we are at Axim Hospital, where she's taking medical attention. Yeah.
So, what is the doctor looking for? I mean, what is she being treated for in the hospital?
We heard nothing from the doctor, nor the police. When we got the call at first, we called the police to notify them that this is what we've heard. So we don't know what to do. So they asked us to come and then have a look at it. So when we came, like less than an hour or two, they also came in. Yeah. But since then, they've not given us any information. They said nothing concerning our. But we've asked them. They kept saying that they are still investigating.
Who did you ask?
The police.
Have you spoken to the doctor about your wife's condition?
Nah, they've not even seen the doctor.
You haven't seen the doctor?
Yeah.
Where is your wife currently? Do you know which part of the hospital she's being admitted?
Yes, hospital. At Mazin Hospital. So.
Natalia Kwanzaa, our Western Regional correspondent, has been speaking with neighbors who have also been confirming Michael's story.
Here at Sweet's mother, where Josephine Penyon Simons resided before her unfortunate kidnap on the 16th of September 2021 here in Takoradi. This is where she lived with her mother and other family members. We are here to speak to the family members and neighbors around to find out if indeed she was pregnant before her kidnap. We understand from the Western Regional Minister, Kwabena Ocheda-Kumensa, who happens to be the leader of RESTEC here in the Western region, that reports available to him indicate that Josephine was not pregnant. But we are here to find out from the family and friends. But first of all, just across is the Amono Street, where family members earlier said that Josephine usually go for her everyday walk. And then just in front of me is the Parkgrounds roundabout, where they thought she had been. So let's go and speak to some family members and neighbors. So right now we are in the house of Josephine Simons, the lady who is in the midst of all these controversies. Family members have heated up. They insist that she is still pregnant.
We want to remove her from the Azim hospital. We don't trust the doctor. The doctor who said the patient is not pregnant. Patient has not given birth. We want to remove her from that doctor's hand.
But they are giving her medical attention.
It can be fake. The medical everything can be fake. The doctor who said the patient has not given birth, patient has not been pregnant, that doctor can be fake.
Mm.
So we need that our family member here.
Okay.
Tell her to stop.
Said uncle working. One beefy. At that time, no way, no small boy, no 3 years. I will feel. I want my more. Nti maame no dware abofra no e de no kɔ school ma kola no maame ne sambai obai na se no abofra no abofra moni se no mbɛ mo abo 8:30 abo 9 ne ye frɛ no kun e de bi se no kun de abofra no kyekere wa aba no hɔ ana na kun se ɔmba hɔ ne ze me kun mbra na yehu abofra no wɔ fie nti kun bɛ no ene kuni chere afano mbe ni nchen ende sabafo no mbe ni nchen dia yenso yemu be ma abafo no ko na bia oya onanti ni bia bi kenya no ma we ko hospital nti yem ko hospital sina yem hwehwe de bia we pray wa nti ye ko dem ranse wi no nya ada abafo no we pray hospital at that time no ko be 12 to 1 no ni akaye a report our police station. Nti yaka report no na hospital fire statement bi bia ewie no. If you want no no waka che na yensan yenfa papers no nko ofa no court. Na court so won sign. Nti wo bo 3:30 Thursday no 3:30 no. Na lie be free. Nti lie no free na maame no. Yet voice no ya abofra no voice. Nti mra abofra no kasa no rusu de ne maame mbra mbagyen na bebi mo wo no ontum ampe ho nti maame kan che no kuno on befan na ne maame bi sende o wo hemfa ofofo ni mani pana odi ne la ya amane ma wa frɛ no na one ne nkasa nti ne pako ne je phone no o ka te phone no nti ye frɛ line na yensanka dem nipa no na de che Friday nti Friday anapa 7:26 nipa concern frɛ line no de oba no ade de be nya fa nti jano e fit one day yantini pa kono voice bio okon wo yi okon wo antinenta okon wo European yi takwade hospital ya
nti ye ko ebenya report o che de okọ
ho benya wokọ obenya dabi o takwade European hospital.
Away from the western region, police in the northeast region have denied bail for 12 suspects arrested in Shreponi in connection with a violent protest that followed the nomination of Hajia Zurera to Nashiru as DCE for the area. This was after a meeting with some regional executives of the NPP led by the chairman, Nuruddin Fuseni, who were at the police command to secure a bail for the suspects said to be members of the ruling party. The police say they will go ahead to screen the culprits and process them for court. Correspondent Elias Tanko has more.
The arrest was carried out in a house-to-house search operation led by the regional commander DCUP Moses Ali with nearly 80 heavily armed police troops alongside 3 senior officers. The suspects include a 16-year-old minor and a 65-year-old farmer with a race age from 23 to 43. The police claimed the suspects were identified following the analysis of several video footage of the violent protests which occurred last Sunday against the president's decision to appoint Madam Zuireti Nasiru as the area's district chief executive. The Chirponita has since been quiet after the security operation, but supporters of the ruling party say they have been left disappointed, and the arrest, they said, has only added salt to injury.
We are again in the deepest of shocks of our lives. Last night, no one slept. Around 1:50 a.m., policemen stormed our houses, ransacked our rooms, and brought us out like criminals. And I must say, I'm deeply worried about what is currently happening in Chiriponi. You cannot beat someone and expect him or her not to cry. We have endured so much from the injustices from the elephant family. We never said we had any problem with Hajia Zuera. Hajia Zuera is never our problem. Our problem is the appointing authority. Zuera cannot appoint herself. We know that it's some unscrupulous human beings who want to tatter this party for us. And possibly they're telling us that it's the end of the road for us. And we have to advise ourselves appropriately.
The violent protest led to the destruction of several MPP properties, and at least one person was wounded after the angry supporters invaded the residence of the constituency chairman. Meanwhile, the regional chairman of the MPP has led the delegation to the police command seeking to secure a bail for the suspects. The chairman, in the company of other regional executives and nearly a dozen followers, arrived at the command while the suspects were being screened to be processed before court. And after a long closed-door meeting with the police, the party regional secretary, Sule Sambian, confirmed to Joy News all the suspects had been released.
I think they are on police inquiry bureau pending investigations. But you see, the police will still do their work anyway. They can meet and discuss, yes, but if they met and discussed and the police thought that they could grant them police inquiry bureau. So it's still within the police jurisdiction to do that.
But what is it, a party, or was it a party decision to go to the police station?
No, that cannot be party decision, of course. But if your party people are arrested, any reasonable chairman will want to go and visit them and find out ascertain what's going on.
The suspects were seen in a waiting pickup vehicle, only to be taken back into custody after a Joy News report of the purported release. The police, however, have disputed the claim by the regional secretary and said they will do everything necessary to ensure due process is followed in the matter. Here is Acting Public Relations Officer, ESP Robert Anibik.
Police will do what is necessary. It's not crime to release suspects on bail. The laws allow it. But the way the manner they're going about it, like.
Now, the Oti region has experienced a total overhaul of its 8 MDCs in the region following the release of the list of nominees by the local government minister last Sunday. What exactly has accounted for this? There's more in the following report brought to you by Peter Senu.
Well, following the release of the list of MDCs across the country, we have seen protests and some disturbances. But here in the Oti region, it is peaceful, but there is loud silence among party faithfuls who wouldn't even want to go on record. We have been speaking to Oti Kofi Intim, a former DCE for the KJB district and also now the first vice chairman for the MPP in the region. I have been speaking to him and asking him a few questions about what he made of the complete overhaul of the MDCs here in the Oti region and the way forward for the party at large. What do you make of this complete overhaul?
I don't see anything wrong with it. I mean, some experience is required in administering the districts properly. Would have been good if the committee has seen the need to retain some of them. But if in the wisdom of the committee we want to give the opportunity to others, I think there is nothing wrong with it.
It's not an indictment, first on the party and on your appointees not to have done so well to merit a second term.
Oh, no. No, not at all. Some of them have really graduated up. The Central Regional Minister, for instance, was a district chief executive in Swedro or something, a lady. She's not a regional minister. And so if the government in the same wisdom thinks that it should be replaced, so be it. The opportunity to do a second time or second term was not given to me on a silver platter. It came out of hard work. And that is not to suggest that those who did not have the opportunity to serve the second time did not work hard enough.
4 police officers who assaulted some residents of Tamale over illegal electricity connections have been interdicted. Well, this was announced in a press statement by the Ghana Police Service Tuesday. The security operatives were seen in a viral video abusing their victims in areas such as Zujin, Lamashigu and Nakmang Zoo in the Northern Regional Capital on Monday. Well, let's share with you details of that police statement. It says the police administration has with immediate effect interdicted 4 officers working with the Tamale Regional Police Command following the alleged assault of some persons in Tamale in the Northern region Tuesday, September 21. They were assigned to assist NEDCO and VRA officials to arrest some alleged persons involved in illegal power connections. The officers will face a service inquiry subject to the regulations of the Ghana Police Service. Processes, according to the statement, have commenced to identify the victims for the necessary medical assessments and assistance. It ends with an apology, an unconditional apology to the affected persons and the general public. Ghana's total population currently stands at 30.8 million. That's according to the preliminary 2021 Population and Housing Census report released by the Ghana Statistical Service. The service is the government statistician, Professor Samuel Kwabena, said females remain the majority of the country's population with 50.7%, while males represent 49.3%. The census revealed that although both the Ashanti and Greater Accra regions recorded 5.4 million persons, the Greater Accra region is marginally the most populous.
That if you take off the conventional structures, which contributed almost 4 out of every 5 structures, the other 20%, leaving out the other category that is focusing on metal containers, wooden structures, and kiosks, we have 1 out of every 5 structures in Ghana being of this nature. That is either a metal container, wooden structure, or a kiosk. While in absolute terms, Greater Accra had the highest number of conventional structures, that is 1.3 million, it represented the least percentage, that is 67.4%, because of the predominance of metal containers in Greater Accra. From the data, we realized that 15% of the structures that we have in Greater Accra are metal containers. So in absolute terms, yes, we had 2.1 million structures in Greater Accra, but we have significant percentage of the 2.1 structures being of metal containers, specifically 15% of that. Moving forward, we also observe that more than half of the kiosks in the entire country are in Greater Accra. Specifically, 51% of the total number of kiosks that we have in the country are located in Greater Accra. Northeast region had the highest percentage of conventional structures, i.e. 95% of the total structures in Northeast region were conventional 2000 and 2010. Between 2000 and 2010, the difference between the number of households was 1 million, and between 2010 and 2021 population housing census, the difference is 2.8 million. Greater Accra region recorded the highest number of households, specifically 1.7 million, followed by Ashanti region, 1.5 million. Northeast region has the least number of households. In the context of average household sizes, we recorded an average household size from the 2021 population and housing census standing at 3.6. This indicates a sharp drop of 1.5 percentage points between the 5.1 that was recorded in the 2010 population and housing census and the 3.6 that is being recorded for 2021 population and housing census. Indeed, the 3.6 that we've recorded for the 2021 population and housing census is the lowest ever since 1960. Regions in southern Ghana recorded the lowest average of household sizes, specifically with Greater Accra recording 3.2 household size. Census indicates that Ghana's population has increased from 24.7 in 2010 to 30.8 from the 2021 population and housing census provisional results. We now turn to the comparability of this figure, which helps us to repose confidence in the number that we've put out there, and as I indicated, ahead of the post-enumeration survey results and ahead of 18th November 2021. We do this at 3 levels: comparison using the U.S. Census Bureau, using the United Nations population reference, and from our own population projections based on the 2010 population and housing census. Comparing it across these 3 indicators, we remain within 5% of the population U.S. Census Bureau reference point, that is the 30.8 million that we've recorded as provisional results for the 2021 population and housing census is within 5% of the U.S. Census Bureau results. And it's within our own population projections.
Now, the National Peace Council has impressed on government to speed up the implementation of the report of the committee tasked to probe the Ejura disturbances. In the view of the council, the delay is brewing tension among the youth in the area. It's been over a month since the Justice Kumsing Committee presented its report to the Interior Minister Ambrose Derry. Since then, the National Chief Imam, security experts and some civil society groups have called on government to make the report public and subsequently implement the recommendation captured in there. Government is, however, yet to heed any of the calls made. Chairman of the Peace Council, Reverend Ernest Edujemfi, in an interview with my colleague Kwesi Parker-Wilson, observed that the Ejura incident cannot die off with just a presentation of the committee's report, insisting government must bring clarity to the issues.
Yeah, these are things that we do behind closed doors, and this is the area where people don't seem to understand. They expect us to come publicly to say we have done this, we are telling somebody to do that. We go behind closed doors to appeal to them. Look, This thing is delaying. The process of delaying creates some situation of tension. People don't understand why. Can you speed up the process? Can you bring clarity to this so that people will understand what is going on? So those are the things we do behind closed doors.
Has that been done with them?
Yes, we're engaging.
I see.
Yes.
And what was the feedback, by the way?
Well, those ones we can't put them out.
But was there an assurance that...
Well, I think so. I think we are happy that the processes are going on and that there will be a resolution.
How soon?
That one I cannot. It's not in our hands. It's in the hands of the authorities who are responsible.
So what about the youth in Israel who are agitating?
Well,
they want to see action.
We want to appeal to them to be a little patient and wait to see the end of the process. Certainly, once there's a commission, there's a report, it cannot just die. Yes, certainly there will be a release, and we need to be patient till we get there.
You're watching Joy News today. Stay with us. We've got more stories coming up. Thanks for staying with us. Now, former Mayor of Accra, Alfred van der Poy, has charged government to stamp out all political elements within the distribution chain of premixed fuel meant for fisher folk. The product, which is subsidized by government, is distributed to various fishing communities under the supervision of the National Premixed Fuel Committee. But the fishermen say the product is now being controlled by illegal cartels who are hoarding and selling to them at exorbitant prices. Manuel Kranting was at a community engagement held by some leading members of the NDC in Choco and came through with this report.
Today is Kwame Nkrumah's day, and we are celebrating as such. And also, today is a day that the fisher folks don't go to sea. So we added the two and made sure that the missing link between us...
Former Kumasi Mayor Kojo Bonsu explaining why some senior members of the opposition National Democratic Congress decided to engage fisher folks within the Choco community on Nkrumah Memorial Day. The fisher folks, among other things, raised concerns about the recent challenges with premixed fuel. Now, it is very difficult to get a premixed fuel. When our husbands go to fish, they don't get enough catch. It's even very difficult for us to get the premixed fuel to buy. We beg the government to make it accessible so that our husbands can return to work and get us something to eat. It's become a huge challenge in the area. Some people who are not part of the fisher folks are the ones controlling the premix, and they sell to us at exorbitant prices. It's very disturbing. It's hurting our jobs. We are unable to properly fish because we don't get access to the premix fuel. MP for Blakuma South and former Accra Mayor Alfred van der Poy stresses on how the politicization of the distribution process is hurting livelihoods. He recounts how Premixed Fuel administration under his watch was done and calls. For a return to that system.
We did not look at party folks. The Premixed Fuel is for fisher folks. So there is no need to get non-fisher folks involved in that business. Today, the Premixed Fuel is not going directly to the fisher folks. You understand? They will tell you that some individuals will get it and then resell it to them. So what is the benefit of the Premixed Fuel? Secondly, I also know that when the Premixed Fuel will go to the fisher folks, they will have a program to which the interest or whatever benefit is accrues out of the sale. They will sit down and they will say that at the end of it, we want to undertake this project. We want to do this. Today, that is not in existence. So Premixed Fuel is coming to our people every day. It is being sold every day, but where is the benefit? Where is it going? It's going into the pockets of some people who do not even belong to the fishing industry.
Meanwhile, former MP for Blakuma South, Fritz Baffo, believes government must begin treating the fisher folk as an important segment of the country.
The powers that be have got to pay a lot more attention to the concerns of the fishing communities in Ghana. They're a very, very important group in terms of revenue, in terms of service to the community. So we have to make them a special sort of constituency that we've got to address. We can't dismiss them.
This is Joy News Today. We'll bring you Business with Daryl Kwao shortly.
Hello, welcome to Business. My name is Daryl Kwao. Head of beers at Guinness Ghana Breweries Limited, Willand Ofori, says over 14 million Ghana cedis has been invested in small bars and enterprises after the devastating effects of COVID-19. According to him, giving back to his patrons is a venture that deserves the necessary investments. Now, Guinness Ghana has launched the Black Shines Brightest campaign to celebrate its black liquid and highlight black people and creatives on the African continent.
It will interest you to know that even in the makeup of Guinness, we work with a lot of, small business holders within the chain. So I think that the last impact study we did, we were affecting over 200,000 people, right from the farmers who grow the sorghum and knows that once they harvest, we are buying everything, to the aggregators who put them together, to the haulers who transport it to our breweries. Then when it is packaged into beer, all our KDs, who also employ hundreds of people, to our retailers, our wholesalers, they are all involved in our production. So for any bottle of Guinness that is produced, we have hundreds of thousands of people who contribute to it, and they have guaranteed employment because of our existence. So this campaign is just to throw light on what we do, and also, as I said, handpick a couple of young enterprising Ghanaians and Africans, just to kind of encourage the African that is possible. I must say that if you look at Africa, it is the continent with the most youthful population, and that comes with a lot of strife around unemployment and all. And sometimes you just need someone to encourage you that, listen, that small talent you have, that small business you are doing, if you keep at it, you'll be able to attract the right players to do. And one biggest example is Incredible Ziggy. I'm not sure in the past, dancers had a lot of respect in this country. But this guy is making waves all across the globe just because of dance.
All right, in other news, Director General Intelligence of the Ghana Police Service, Mamiya Tiwadu Dankwa, has charged accountants to adopt new trends of technology and digitization in the organizations to keep them aligned with new developments. She was speaking at a special seminar by the Accra North District Society of the Institute of Chartered Accountants, Ghana. There's more in this report.
General Intelligence of the Ghana Police Service, Mami Tiwa Adodankwa, has admonished accountants to adhere to the code of ethics of the profession in order to manage their finances well and fight corruption. According to her, accounting information is a vital tool in ensuring successes in business, an element the nation cannot do away with.
Ethics. One of the cardinal points of a professional accountant is the ethical issues. There are a lot of things that you do and you yourself you think is not the right thing. If we're able to enforce our ethical behavior, it will shape the way we do things. For instance, in preparation of financial statements, you make sure that you're actually giving out the information, the accurate information about the accounts, because if somebody wants to invest into a business, the person will look at your financial statement, and if you are not giving out the accurate information, the person will be swayed in thinking that whatever you have presented is something that I have to invest in it. Probably it is just fake. It's something that is not giving the true and accurate information about the organization.
COP Maame Tiwa Adudankwa, who is a chartered accountant, was speaking at a special seminar by the Accra North District Society of the Institute of Chartered Accountants Ghana. She also charged accountants to stay abreast with the rising trends in digitalization and technology as a means of making their work easier and more efficient.
Now things are done this way. What happens the next 2 years? If you look at what is happening in the country, we are moving to the digital area. As an accountant, how do you help people to understand the digital era? How do you use ICT to enhance your business? How do you use ICT to make things better, to improve upon what you do, make it better, improve upon your probably profit? And at the end of the day, the more you make profit, the more you invest, the more you expand your business, the more you're able to employ other people into the business, and the more you make the whole country's development go up.
Finance Secretary of the Accra North District Society of the Institute of Chartered Accountants Ghana, Benjamin Frimpong, believes strengthening the audit system of the country is a step in ensuring fairness and accountability.
Africa, as we know, is a continent that is undoubtedly gifted with a lot of natural resources, yet a significant canker like corruption has deprived the continent of a certain level of economic advancement or growth, if I may say. And then I believe this is where the professional accountants come in helping to reduce to the barest minimum, if not eradicate it completely, the canker of corruption. And then one of the ways that this could be done is the strengthening of internal audit function within the public sector institutions. And I believe if this feat is achieved, it's going to help in the long run towards the realization of the potential of Ghana and the African continent as a whole.
And that's your business update. We've got news on the cocoa loan syndication and the provisional results from the census coming up at the top of the hour on the marketplace. Up next, sports.
Hello, good afternoon and welcome to the sports segment with me, Oreku Wampofo. Ashanti Gold President Kweku Frimpong and CEO Emmanuel Frimpong faced the Ghana Football Association ban after being charged for misconduct during the 2020-2021 Ghana Premier League Week 34 game against Inter Allies. We do have more for you in the following Joy Sports report.
The president of Ashanti Gold SC, Kweku Frimpong, and chief executive officer of the club, Emmanuel Frimpong, have both been charged on 3 counts of misconduct for match manipulation in their 2020-21 Ghana Premier League Week 34 match against Inter Allies at the Obuasi Lenclay Stadium on July 17, 2021. The president and chief executive officer of the club were both charged for breaching Article 27, subsection 1 and 27, subsection 2 of the GFA Code of Ethics and Article 18, subsection 1 of the GFA Disciplinary Code and Article 34.5a and 34.5b of the Ghana Premier League regulations. The 2 club officials are expected to submit their statements of defense to the charges on or before Wednesday, September 22, after which the GFA Disciplinary Committee will adjudicate their cases.
Well, Ash Gold are supposed to submit their report to the disciplinary committee today, by the end of working day today, and we'll be trying our best to get the latest from their camp as to what the feeling is ahead of the submission to the disciplinary committee. But in some more stories, in its bid to develop boxing in the country, the Ghana Boxing Authority will pay companies who sponsor boxers 15% of their pairs. Speaking to Joy Sports in an exclusive interview, GBA President Abraham Kote Nikwe believes this incentive will attract corporate Ghana.
The good aspect of it is, most of the time the corporate bodies ask something. What is our benefit? This is going to be their benefit. When they come in to partner us, they are going to make 15% on the purse of the boxer. So you come in and you invest on the boxer, then we build the boxer to the world level. Already, there will be a contract of 5 years. So the corporate body now is not throwing his money away, but rather in the next 2 years, he will start making his money that he put in. Whilst he's going to have ambassadorship of the boxer, It's going to have adverts, international level, because if we are going to dress in the company's logo and other things. So now it is not going to be like you put in money and you don't see the money. The next year, you are going to get your money with the help of the GBA, the corporate bodies, and the individual managers. 3 teams coming together with the support of the coaches. We are going to make a lot of world champions. I've told Ghanaians, we know our strength. Our strength is boxing. Let us pay attention to boxing. Then people keep talking about us world level. You can call from DK Poison, Azuma Nelson, Nanayo Akonedu, Ike Bazooka, Alfred Kote, Kome. You can call Game Boy, Emmanuel Tego. You can call the Hitter. You can call Agboko. You can call Joshua. You can call Dogbe. You know, we have a lot of names to call when it comes to boxing. Other disciplines are struggling to take us there. We are begging Ghana, we are begging the corporate bodies and the government that we beg them. Let them pay attention to the sports that bring glory to Ghana, and that is boxing. We beg them to come and support boxing. And we promise them within a year or 2, the Ghana Black Fighters, which is a team of 12, will produce 8 world champions out of this team.
Or you can get some more sports stories on Joy Sports on Twitter at JoySportsGH, or you can check out my journal online /sport. My name is Arik Wampofu, and World News is up next.
And that's all in our 60 Minutes package. Do log on to myjoyonline.com where we have plenty more news. My name is Mama Vios Wabwaji. Thanks for your company.